Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is Dominic. I named this channel the Truth X, and this channel is related to my book that I'm currently writing about the ancient history of the mankind, dating back roughly 13,000 years back to the uh, the event called Younger Dryas, or the last cataclysm that hit our planet roughly 12,800 years ago. You might have heard about it from other great people like Graham Hancock or Ben from Uncharted X. I decided to follow up on this story and to give my own ideas that I experienced through some states of consciousness, and I would love to express myself also. So here are some of my ideas. I created a little bit of the project here on Google Earth so that we could go through um, my view on the history step by step. And right now we are in China, where I pointed out the structures that I find very interesting that you might have heard about in the past, and I just pointed out the three main structures. Uh, we are situated in northern China, right, in the city called modern city called Xian, where the Weihe River is flowing, creating a beautiful fertile valley, where the people, I believe, settled roughly 11,000 years ago and built the first pyramids, the first three pyramids on planet Earth. The first three, I mean the three out of the three main pyramidal structures on planet Earth, namely here in Xi'an, in Giza in Egypt, and in Teotihuacan in Mexico. I believe here is where the whole story of the reinitiation of mankind started after the Great Cataclysm. So let's have a closer look. This is just a brief introduction for people who are interested in this topic, so let's have a look. Yuan Pyramid. Let's see what we found about it in on Google. Yuan Pyramid. It looks like this nowadays. So you can see it's basically an overgrown hill by artificial vegetation. Not artificial, the vegetation that was brought there artificially, I think, by the government, and tons of material which was put on the top of the pyramid that is, I believe, thousands of years old. And the reason, I think, is obvious. I don't have to talk about it much more because this is not natural. This is not how the pyramids look like even after thousands of years. Especially if we take a look on other structures where, like this one, where literally trees are put on the top. So they're definitely trying to hide something from the view of the public here, there in China. Maolin Great Pyramid is the probably the most known one or the most viral one because of the story from the Second World War when the U.S. pilot saw it from the top and described it as the Great White Pyramid with the golden top and all these exaggerated descriptions, which I'm not really also convinced about, but could make sense. Maybe just roughly 70 years ago, the pyramids were still revealed with their original structures and the limestone blocks, or the white limestone blocks that were really bright and white in that time. So yeah, definitely this is man-made structure. This is not a hill. They call it mausoleum of this deceased Maolin great king. Right now is I think it's open to the public, but look at the dimensions of the structure. We're talking roughly 450 meters by 900 meters of the base, which is really a huge structure, right? And this area is actually full of the pyramids. There are dozens of them. There are at least 70 or 80 of them. I think Chuck from the TFF's channel pointed out around 83 pyramids. Check out his videos if you'd like to. Just north of this Weihe River. So the culture, the civilization, I would say the culture, because there was not yet a civilization that settled here, lived along this river and was thriving. The most intriguing structure, however, for me is situated right here, south of the Xi'an, and there are the three pyramids that you had probably heard of, which resemble by their orientation and their structure in general to the other three pyramids, or the other two pyramidal structures in Giza and in Egypt. Right here we can see again three pyramids, which are again perfectly covered by vegetation and hidden from the public. First one, second one, and the third one, the small one. They're much smaller in dimensions than the other two pyramidal sites. We're talking here roughly 200 meters by roughly 400 meters in base. Still pretty nice size of the structure. And I believe these three pyramids were actually the first site, the first pyramidal site built by the survivors of the Great Flood, who were guided by the gods to this area and build this structure that is very, very important in the whole story that I'm going to tell here and in the book. Because these two structures are oriented to the stars of Orion's belt, and their orientation is, I think, perfectly geometrically, mathematically calculated. And the structures there are still an incredibly important part of this whole story. What I believe in my beliefs, or what I believe in this whole story, is that these certain individuals were chosen by the gods, which were in reality they were no gods. These beings were extraterrestrials who entered our solar system and eventually got to our planet right after the cataclysm, and guided these individuals that were very specifically chosen for this mission, and guided them to the highlands of the Tibetan Plateau, more precisely to this area, the mythical Mount Kailash, where all these stories of the Hindu gods and especially Shiva are related to, or are connected to. And I believe that's not a coincidence, because this place I believe was really a sacred place for these chosen individuals, because this is where the gods, the extraterrestrial gods, brought them and helped them to survive the incredibly intense cataclysm that hit our planet. Most likely, these lands were different in those times. They had source of water, maybe even fertile lands to survive generations here until the effects of the cataclysm subsided. And then they were guided to the fertile lands with more warm climates of the northern China, where they could initiate the new story of mankind, where the place where they're given the first crop, the first seed that enabled this culture, civilization to survive, and it was rice. So I believe this is where the whole story of mankind started, in this part of the world, after the cataclysm, and these were the first pyramids ever built on planet Earth, roughly 11,000 years ago. This is a short introduction about the story I'm going to unveil in the book and in the videos. This is the very short story about China. Not about China, but about the reinitiation of the mankind in this part of the world. And there's much more to tell. So I hope you stay tuned, and if you are interested in more, I will be putting out these videos regularly. I will be putting out these videos with more details and links to interesting articles or videos that I learned from, or I was inspired by. So here we are. This is the Truth X, and I'm happy that you're here. Thank you for watching.